Hey there, Ryker owners. Brandon here with Slingmods.com, and today we have our push-button plug-and-play hazard light switch for the Can-Am Ryker. Now, we found it a bit odd that the Can-Am Ryker didn't have any way to initiate the hazard lights while riding. In fact, the only way to turn them on was to stop and put the transmission in reverse. Now, hazard lights are often used while riding to notify surrounding motorists of an upcoming traffic hazard that may require unusual care in approaching, overtaking, or even passing. Since the hazard light switch doesn't exist on the Ryker, we've partnered up with the guys over at Hypnotic Concepts to create one. This kit is 100% plug and play and includes a handlebar accessory mount for push-button access to the included on-off switch. This installation couldn't be any easier, so now follow me as I walk you through the installation process. Start by opening your frunk and removing the two push pins on the left-hand side of the bike. Then slide open your fuel door and remove these other four push pins so you can take off the left-hand side fairing and center top panel. Then take a T20 Torx and unscrew these four screws on the back side of the multi-gauge to expose the harness underneath. Then disengage the red safety latch and unplug the harness from the gauge. Now take a T40 Torx and unscrew the cluster support from the handlebars so that you can pull off this harness support bracket. And then screw the cluster support back onto the handlebars. Next, you can take the new harness from the kit and plug it into the gauge harness coming off the bike. Tuck in the excess cable behind the headlight. And then run the other end of the harness up and into the opening on the bottom of the gauge cluster support bracket and then into the multi-gauge. Now you can reattach the multi-gauge back up to the cluster support bracket with the same four T20 Torx screws, making sure not to over-tighten. Then take a 5mm Allen and unscrew the two screws on the right-hand side of the handlebar mount. Insert the two new aluminum spacers. Add some Loctite to the two new 5mm screws with washers. Place the button bracket on top of the spacers. And then slide the two new 5mm screws with washers in from the top. And then tighten them down nice and snug, making sure not to over tighten. And then plug in your button to that smaller plug coming off the harness we just installed. And then go back through and zip tie any excess or loose wires up and out of the way of any and all moving parts. Now you can go ahead and test the button to make sure it works. You'll notice that the hazard button also works with the ignition off and the key removed. And then reassemble the body panels back onto the bike in the reverse order you remove them. And that's all there is to it, folks. Once installed, you'll have the ability to turn on your hazard lights while the Ryker is stopped or in motion, creating a much safer environment for you and those around you. So if adding a hazard light switch to the handlebars of your Ryker is on your mod list, then be sure to head on over to slingmods.com today or click the link in the description below to grab a hazard light kit for yourself And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so I can keep you up to date with everything Ryker. I'm Brandon signing out. Till next time.